Did you know Kirby had two versions of a handy tool called the Handi Butler? Let's check it out. Now don't forget, if you're using the video today, there are links in the description below for the best place to get those Kirby products. Make sure you check those out at the end of this video. So today we're going to be having a quick look and comparison between the Handi Butler that was brought out with the classic Omega and the Handi Butler that was brought out with the Generation Kirby, the Sentria. Let's dive in and have a look. Right, so on my right, we've got the Handi Butler. This was released in 1974 with the classic Omega, and it ran up until the Heritage 1984. Now Kirby did change the safety system on the front of the Kirby, so if you've got a classic 3.1, it won't fit on a later Kirby, but it will fit on the original Kirby Legend. After that, Kirby changed the design of the safety switch. If you've got a Heritage 84, obviously you need a version for the Heritage 84 and not an earlier version, as it won't fit, which I'll demonstrate in a second how this fits on the Kirby and the comparisons between them. Then Kirby dropped this in late 85 purely because of health and safety was coming in, and there was a lot of health and safety issues with the Handi Butler. Later on, when the Sentria came out in 2006, they released this version, which is the Sentria version, and this ran up until the Kirby Sentria 1, right up until 2011, until the Sentria 2 came out. Then this was discontinued. We'll open them up, have a look, and I'll explain the difference between them, what you get, what the benefits are, and how they work. Now the main accessory came with a buffing polisher. You got some sanding discs. They were double-sided tape on the back, so you could stick that on these polishing wheelers here after you remove the mop. Also, you got 3 feet. So these were to stop the Kirby rolling around and sort of keep it in situ while you were using it. Also, you got the chuck as well for drilling. In here, we got some drill bits and we got some jigsaw blades. They also got 2 sticks of polishing wax. So you have the coarse polishing, which was stick number 1, and then you have the fine polishing, which was stick number 2. You use these on these rag buffing polishers, and then again, they fitted exactly the same way on the Kirby Handi Butler. So with the main unit set up in portable mode, I haven't fitted the classic 3 handle purely because I changed the mechanism on there. Mine was broke, and now I can no longer use this because you can't get the earlier style springs for the classic 3. You can only get the ones from the Heritage onwards. For that reason, I've got a Legend 2 handle and a Legend 2 bag fitted so I can use the head and filtration bag. It was really easy to fit. You would lift the hood. On the earlier versions of the Kirbys, the safety switch was down here. From the Heritage 84 onwards, the safety switch was fitted here. Consequently, this classic 3 Handi Butler won't fit on the later Kirby. Now to install it, this sort of worked backwards because you'd have to wind your belt off. So you'd flip your belt off, like so. Then you would slot this on your Kirby. Your belt would contact the spline, lock that on. Wind the belt to the on position, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Now look at the base of our Kirby. We've got 3 rubber feet. One would fit under each rear wheel, and then the other one would fit there to stop it moving. So on your workbench, you'd place the first one down. You would lift the back end of the Kirby, and then slide the other 2 under the rear wheels. Make sure your Kirby foot is central to the underneath of the Kirby. Fit your jigsaw attachment. Again, it was magnetic, so just slide that in like so. The magnet would pick up. As you can see, that still moves. So then we would lower it down with our toe touch control. That was fully down, and that would be pretty stable if it was on a decent bench. This is wax, so it does move around a bit. Obviously, I'm not going to start up on this, but then you could put your jigsaw blades in, use your jigsaw, or if you didn't want to use your jigsaw, again, you just raise that head a bit. Take your jigsaw out, grab your chuck attachment, again, magnetic, slot that in, lower it down so it doesn't move, fit your drill bit, and then start drilling with it. If you wanted to attach the drill or use that separately with a jigsaw, you could fit that on the back. You would grab your cable accessory attachment. It was just like an old accelerator cable on an old car. That would attach in there, move that round, and then twist, and that would lock in place. From then on, you could use your drill attachment like so, or if you wanted, you could use your jigsaw. As you can see, the Handi Butler would have been a massive selling point in the 1970s right up to the 80s, because a lot of people were into DIY, and having a jigsaw, grinder and the knife sharpener would be a fantastic attachment to have, especially when you had to buy these all separately. It would be included in your Kirby package if you bought the Handi Butler. As we moved into the early 80s, and 90s, this was no longer viable because it was a health and safety risk with some of its features and a lack of health and safety on that Kirby. Now, it being 2006, Kirby had released the Sentria, and they needed something to bring the male interest back into the Kirby. And the best way to do that was another DIY attachment. Now, we had got the turbo tools, but which were mainly for the sander, and we'd also got the zip brush. Kirby wanted something a little bit more. Pretty sure they went into getting this designed with the same people who designed the Dremel, because it's based on that same product. So let's get some unpacked and see what you get inside. Now, with your revision version of the Handi Butler back in 2006, health and safety was getting a big issue. You got some safety glasses with it. This was an attachment which I'll demonstrate goes under the Kirby. You could fix that down to the bench with some bolts, and then your Kirby would just sit in the back here. It also came with some little attachments here, and it was all basically like a Dremel. It also came with a main unit that went on the Kirby, and it was a lot easier to fit. If you wanted it fixed, you could use this attachment here for your Dremel attachments, and that would just twist on there. And it all works off Kirby's turbine air system as opposed to using the belt system. Now, this spins at 1800 RPMs per minute, so it is quite powerful, and I'd say it's just as good as a Dremel. You've got the portable attachment here. So this, if you wanted to use that Dremel attachment and engrave anything or do anything you can actually do with a Dremel, you could attach this on there. Also, you came with some metal polish, a few grinding attachments and buffing attachments, and a little spanner and screwdriver for fitting those attachments to your Kirby. Now, to install to the Kirby, it was really simple. You just move your hood or your portable head, and on the Sentria and up to the Avalier, they changed the intake attachment. So if you haven't got one of these, you cannot use this system. You do need this attachment to use the latest style Handi Butler. Slot that on, lock that over, and then you grab your attachment for your Handi Butler, slot that on there, shut that down, and it's ready to rock and roll. Now, with your Kirby, when using it, what you would do, you'd attach this to a bench, bolt it down or screw it down. You'd have this cut out here, and as we look underneath the Kirby, it was purely for that. That would slot in like so. You could lower your Kirby down, and that wouldn't move if it was bolted to the bench. Now, you were limited with the attachment that you got with it purely because you could use Dremel attachments, as I'll show you in a second. But what you got with the part that was fixed on your Kirby, you got the attachment here which is screwed on. You'd have a little bar that went in there. You would grab your attachment. So any Dremel attachment will fit as well. Tighten that up by hand, then grab your spanner and just lock it off. And then that would literally screw on the Kirby. If you're using it portable as well, again, I'll grab a Dremel attachment. So these are the Dremel attachments you can use. With the Dremel attachments, you've got buffing wheels, sanding wheels, cutting wheels, everything you could literally dream of to do stuff around the house. You can even get engraving equipment for it, so you could engrave everything with your Kirby. I'll put a link down in the description in below of where to get one of these from if you want to get one for your Kirby Handi Butler. But this is a normal Dremel system, and it will fit perfectly and work perfectly with your Kirby Handi Butler from 2006. So with your Dremel attachment, all you could do is take that out, slot it in exactly the same way, grab your little bar, turn that until that locks in place, like so, and then just tighten that off with your spanner. That way then, you could pull on there and fit the cutting disc, like so. Don't forget, if you're using the video today, there are links in the description below for the best place to get those Kirby products. Make sure you check those out at the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you comment down below. Let me know whether you've got the Sentria version of the Handi Butler or the earlier version, and if you actually use it. Now, if those of you want to know how to service your Kirby, check out this video next. And for those of you struggling with that smelly vacuum smell, check out this video next. So thanks for watching, happy cleaning, and I'll catch you in the next one.